wish India all the very best. More than 8 months on the seat of presidency, India has done tremendously. Pretty sure that India will achieve what it wants to be. India could be one of the important leaders of Global South. We have close relations, socially, culturally, historically.
In a few days from now, in just few weeks, in fact, India is going to host the G20 Leaders Summit. As a former chair, what are your expectations from it?
Pleasure to be with ANI again. On G20 Summit, of course, I wish India the very best. It's one of the biggest engagement of leaders. So we wish India all the very best, logistically and substantively. And for sure, India, looking at already more than 8 months on the seat of presidency, India has done tremendously in bridging all differences. So I'm pretty sure that India will achieve what it wants to be.
Ma'am, India has put some ambitious agendas on the table. How do you think these are different with the ones that you had during your presidency?
Okay, this presidency, the added value of India's presidency is that India comes in the second after Indonesia as emerging economies. And as you may know, under the G20 presidency, 4 emerging economies will be in the helmet until 2025. So India's presidency, as we have agreed since being Troika for 1 year almost, we have consultation, coordination to ensure, one, the voice of emerging economies are heard. Second, continuity and convergence of agenda of emerging economies are on table. And third, making sure that the continuity and convergence not only in the G20, but also between multilateral fora also happen, and for the benefit of emerging economies.
Ma'am, Russia-Ukraine war is something which is undoubtedly would be on the agenda and would be the most watched thing. What are your views on that?
Well, for sure, in Indonesia, hope that the G20 Summit will bring all leaders together on the table. We need to ensure that all people in the countries of G20 are willing to have open mind on common concerns of all, rather than focusing on conflicts, tensions between countries, because as you may know, global world, global South in particular, are facing difficulties, challenges currently with disasters, with climate change, with post-pandemic economy recovery, many issues that needs to be discussed. So we do hope that countries in G20, including the observers, see more into the common concerns rather than the tensions and the conflicts.
Ma'am, since you mentioned about the Global South, how do you see India becoming a voice of the Global South?
Well, you know that Indonesia and India since millenniums ago, even in the 50s, also in the 40s and 50s, we fought the colonialism, imperialism together. So I believe that we both are head on to voice the concerns of emerging economies, developing nations, in particular the Global South. I think, like I said, India has done tremendously in the helmet of G20, and I really believe that India could be one of the important leaders of Global South.
Ma'am, South Africa is hosting the BRICS Summit soon. Have you applied for the membership or any possibility of Indonesia joining the BRICS?
Well, there's strong indication, positive indication that our leader, the President Joko Widodo, will come to the BRICS summit as friends of BRICS. We haven't applied for BRICS membership because Indonesia has main principles in international engagement. Always we are open to anything, everything, but at the same time learning from past experience, including APEC, 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 learning from ASEM, ASEM, as well as ASEAN and EAS. When it comes to membership, the criteria, the interest, the modalities needs to be clear first before engagement or enlargement in this matter is on place. So Indonesia is open-minded when it comes to membership, but the criteria and modalities needs to be very clear.
And is your president coming for the G20 summit? The confirmation is there?
Positive indications are there because we need to give strong support to India as Troika of G20 presidency.
Ma'am, my last question. In Jakarta, ASEAN foreign ministers meeting took place last month, of which, of course, Indonesia is a part too. Our foreign minister, during his interaction, said that there is a natural attachment between these two countries. How did you saw that statement and this ASEAN grouping in the meeting?
Well, natural attachment is for sure a reality, a factual indeed. First, you know that we swapped presidency of G20 last year and this year with India. No countries, when it's not close, will swap this kind of thing, the big issue like this. Second, we also see that in ASEAN-India, we, as the chair, making sure that there is an elevation of engagement between ASEAN and India. So this chairmanship of Indonesia in ASEAN is to ensure that the elevation of comprehensive strategic partnership between ASEAN and India will be concretized in more implementable programs so that we will make sure that the epicentrum of growth and also where ASEAN and India matters are there. So I think natural means we have in the past, we have close relations, socially, culturally, historically. But at the same time, at the present and future, we need to also ensure that those footprints of the past, it's going to be a very strong building blocks for the brighter future between Indonesia and India.
Stay with the Times of India for news breaks, analysis, interviews and events. We bring you stories from your neighborhood and from across the globe as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button and press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos.